So I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the workouts I do currently in the last year and a half. As many of you know, I was a huge hiker, biker. I loved crew boxing, T25, Insanity. I did all that stuff. I was like hardcore. I loved it. It was like an energy release, like a boost and a de-escalator for me. But during this injury from the accident and the progression of the injuries, I've had to readjust pretty much everything, which is part of the mental issue, and that's why I understand and I can relate to those that are just getting started or what have you. It is very important to adjust your level accordingly. I can no longer do the crew box. I couldn't even hike for the longest time because my hips were so messed up. Anything I did with elevation inflamed the injury. So I've had to take about a couple years to research and even tweak workouts and activities that were at my level currently. So that's what I'm going to show you today, and I hope this helps. One of the things that I have found that a person that I love is Leslie Sampson. 2 years ago, I would have called these old lady workouts, but what I like about her is she gives you different levels, but she makes it easy. So you can still, like with this video, you'll see some of the exercises she does. It still gives you body resistance. And what I like about this right here is when you're doing this exercise, you're really working your obliques. And for me, like it like works your tush, but it helps me. Like you'll see, I go down, so I'm working my quads and I'm working my glutes at the same time, but I'm also working the back to stretch that out and stuff without high impact. And that's what I love about her, because she does these skaters and lunges, like where you're like this and you keep your core tight, and every time you do this, you're working the hip flexors, you're getting some type of aerobic, like in weight training, using your motion and your own body. Because like right now, I can't do weights, I can't do boxing, I can't even do a band like I could before. So I really had to adjust what I do. So I do lunges like this, again, helps your glutes, helps all, pretty much from head to toe, stretches you out and gets you that lifting kind of workout for weights to get you toned and lean. And you do on each side, and as you can see, she does lunges, which really helps for hip flexors, but lunges also help in your legs and even in your butt, because I couldn't do squats for the longest time. So this helped me with that, and I really like that. And in this specific one, and I will be sharing links to these, it's a 10-minute mile. So you're getting that cardio with low impact while you're still getting that resistance and to build lean muscle mass. So I hope that helps. Hey everyone, I'm here to show you some of the calisthenics that I do to also build lean muscle mass. And this is obviously my little sidekick, my dog Augie. He actually has started, since we got him in September, started doing this stuff with me. So this is also proof you can do it from home with small children, animals, because he really is like my sidekick. So I'm going to show you the low impact versions, because like I said, just from the injuries, like I have had to change everything around. So let's start with arms. At first, obviously, I was doing more hardcore, straight up push-ups, but I've had to tweak it and adjust it. And so these are two arm exercises that I do to try to build and keep definition. And it does depend on your level, so you can adjust them accordingly. I started out with the wall push-up, and for me, it was kind of a slap in the face, because like I said, it was just such a sparse step back. But if you keep your body core tight and you just do push-ups real slow along the wall, and do maybe start off with 5. I would start off with 10, and I could build up. And once I could do that without pain or any discomfort, I would move up to what they call the lady push-up. This is what exercise classes do. And I basically, again, core tight, butt down, and just do this. And I've not quite mastered it without pain because of my chest. So sometimes what I do is I just do this. And these are basically like plank taps, but it still works your chest cavity and your arms. So your muscles are getting worked. And one last thing of very little resistance that I do is the simple exercise that you learn in elementary PE, but it really, really works. It's like arm circles. and then going this way. And so those are 3 simple and low impact arm exercises that I can do to keep the lean muscle and get rid of that, arm flab that no woman wants. Hope that helps. Okay, so another thing that I learned from one of her videos, Leslie Sanson's videos, that really helped me is how to do calisthenics for your legs and core to work it, but with very low or to little impact. And the first, like she does, is just hands flat on the floor and just easy knee raises. And what I love about these is if you keep your core tight, you will feel this in your obliques. And it also, for me, helps my hip flexors because it kind of stretches them. And I'm using that muscle with little to no impact. So I do 10 reps of those on each leg. And then I move on, again, keeping your core tight, your butt tucked under, and just pushing your leg out and bringing it in. And then flexing. So you're working that quad, and that again helps the hip flexors, your core, and your outer and your quads, the tops of your legs. So I do that on each side 10 to 20 times, depending on how I feel in a day. And then this video taught me how to low impact do your side legs and also your hip area. And it's very simple. Again, tightening your legs and doing 10 leg raises. And you see this is really, while keeping your core tight, it's working your outer thigh, which is an area all women want to work, trust me. So I do 10 to 20 of those, and then you lay down and keeping your core tight again with your hand in front of you if you need it, bringing your leg in and then squeeze it out. So you're again getting the gluteus and your back leg and your outer leg a little low impact workout, but it's important to flex at the end so you're still working those muscles. And I do about, again, 10 to 20 of those. And then I do the inner thigh, which is the most difficult area for women, in my opinion. Your back leg goes out, points out. You turn your heel up to the ground and you just pulsate. And you will be working that inner thigh pretty well, again, while keeping the core tight. And I do about 20 of those. And then I switch to the other side. And I do the same thing on the other side. And for those of you that like me that can't do squats anymore, or like if you're working your way back up there but still want to work your butt, I do leg raises, keeping your hips down, hands square on like a table, face down, so your back should be like a table, and just simply lift the leg. The smallest movement, and you can literally feel it, like work your butt muscles and the whole gluteus maximus. And this is what I do in place of squat. So I do, again, 10 to 20 on each leg while keeping the core tight. And then I move here where you're down on all fours, so you have very little impact on your chest using any, so you don't hurt yourself. And then keeping the core tight and just doing these. Pushing your leg back and squeezing that muscle. It's important to try to keep, and sometimes I do it in front of a mirror, but to keep that hip down, to make sure you're keeping the hip down, and give it a little squeeze when you hit the top. It does work the butt, and I do like 10 to 20 on each leg of that. So those are some of the exercises I do. Takes 10 minutes a day. I don't even do them every day. You don't have to. Some people say 3 to 5 times a week, and it also helps stretch the muscles and build that lean muscle mass that we all want. Thank you everyone for watching. I know that I gave you a lot of information. So if you have any questions, concerns, if you want to learn more about anything that I've shown you, whether it's how to take care of yourself or what level you might want to start out at, give me a shout out. You can DM me, look me up on Facebook, myauthenticme.net, or Instagram, myauthenticme. I hope this does answer a lot of you guys' questions and concerns. I do not overdo it. I also rest a day or two a week. And the biggest thing is just staying active and taking steps. Not every day I do all of these things. I just really try to stay active. And that's the other key, is that you don't have to necessarily do that 2-mile cardio. You don't have to necessarily do all these calisthenics every day. Just move. So I hope that helps, and let me know if I can help you in any way. Thank you. Bye-bye.